Coming up on Fulton Today, from Milton to Palmetto, mayors come together with county leaders to discuss a wide range of important topics.
I'm Priscilla Ortega. From T-SPLOS to the Zika virus and the upcoming election, those were just some of the issues discussed. I'll have a full report coming up.
And find out what you need to know about paying your property taxes before the upcoming deadline. That and more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. A mayoral roundtable tackles a myriad of issues that they all have in common. Now, the mayors from the Fulton cities joined county leaders to discuss everything from community policing to T-SPLOS. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega was at the meeting and she has the story. Priscilla?
As the November election nears, county commissioners as well as the mayors in Fulton County discussed how to better educate residents on the T-SPLOS and also encourage their constituents to vote early.
If we don't do something about transportation in the region, we're all going to be gridlocked.
It's an issue that impacts every resident in the county: traffic. After more than a year of meetings, county commissioners and mayors are telling residents details of their plan.
We've really been working hard on education efforts.
At the most recent mayor's meeting, county leaders revealed an educational video created for residents about the transportation special purpose local option sales tax.
I hope that people will actually come out to the town hall meetings to actually learn about what's on the list for that T-SPLOS because it will really help all of Fulton County.
Each mayor created their transportation project list. If approved, the T-SPLOS would increase the sales tax across the county, except Atlanta, by 0.75 cents for 5 years. In Atlanta, the increase would be 0.4 cents for transportation and 0.5 cents for MARTA enhancements. Fairburn's mayor says one project on his list would greatly impact his city's popular Duncan Park.
There's a lot of events I can't host there because I only have one entrance. And so now, as you know, because of emergency purposes for fire trucks or police, I need a second entrance. This T-SPLOS is actually going to help us facilitate that.
Other topics at the meeting include community policing and how to avoid violent protests seen in other cities.
That's certainly an important conversation for us to begin to take forward, given all the issues sort of that play nationwide.
As we've seen, our marches and all those things in the Atlanta region have been very peaceful. And it's great to see that all of our people that are protesting in the right reasons and not in the destroying world.
The elected officials also received an update on library renovations and the Zika virus, with no locally transmitted cases reported.
We are continuing to spray problem areas.
But by far, T-SPLOS was the main topic of this meeting, given the fact that it will be on the ballot in November. These meetings between county commissioners and the mayors will continue even after the T-SPLOS vote. Some additional topics will include MARTA. Now, the next meeting is expected before the end of the year. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Ortega.
Thank you very much, Priscilla. Meanwhile, MARTA bus riders are informed about the possible changes coming to their routes.
So we rely on MARTA to get us where we have to go.
MARTA officials and customers attended a public hearing held in Assembly Hall to discuss the pros and cons of the changes that include streamlining services and improving rail connectivity and schedule adherence.
Every person that responds, whether here or email or however they respond, we truly listen to what they have to say, and we try to make everybody happy. Of course, you can't make everybody happy in this world.
No matter what was said, every voice was heard, since customer service is always the most important thing for the Rapid Transit Authority.
MARTA really feels that our customer is the most important thing to us, and we listen to what they have to say.
The proposed bus schedule modifications would begin December 10th of this year. To get more route information, a video presentation, and comment forms, you can log on to itsmarta.com. Now, what is definitely not changing is the deadline to pay your property tax bills. The Fulton County Tax Commissioner's office worked round the clock to get those bills in the mail on time. Dr. Arthur Ferdinand is Fulton County's tax commissioner. Sir, welcome back to Fulton Today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So, sir, what is the status of those tax bills? Should everyone have received theirs by now?
Everyone should have received the tax bill by now. It went out in time to hit the street on September 15th, so everyone should have it. It's due and payable now.
And Dr. Ferdinand, what is the process should someone take an issue with that bill?
There's nothing you can really do about a tax bill but to pay it. If you have issues with the tax bill, it is most likely with the value of the property, which you should have appealed by March 1st, or with a homestead exemption. Whether or not you have homestead exemption, you should have filed for the homestead exemption for 2016 tax bill by April the 1st, if you were going to get it this year.
And of course, the ever important deadline, tell everyone exactly when it is.
There are two deadlines you're faced with right now. The first one is October 31st for City of Atlanta taxes, and the second deadline is for the Fulton County property taxes on Sandy Springs and Johns Creek, which is November 15th.
And of course, we like to get your final comments.
I would encourage everyone to pay by the due date to avoid interest and penalties for late payment.
Fulton County Tax Commissioner Dr. Arthur Ferdinand, always a pleasure to see you, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
You're quite welcome, Shania. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Now, if you have a question or comment about your tax bill, contact the Tax Commissioner's office by logging on to fultoncountytaxes.org. Class is now in session inside the Fulton County Juvenile Court Building. The Leadership and Educational Advancement Program, also known as LEAP, in partnership with Eckerd Kids, recently celebrated the opening of their new LEAP classroom at the Juvenile Justice Center.
This is majorly important. Learning environment, as a 20-year veteran of teaching, of education, learning environment is critical. And just even having windows to be able to look outside is just so major. So this is a phenomenal place, and we are so excited to get our kids in here and get the ball rolling.
Arranged like a typical school classroom, it will be primarily used by youth participating in the LEAP program. Now, these children have been expelled or excluded from traditional and alternative schools, and as a consequence have been left without supervision during daylight hours, and therefore they did not have a means of continuing their education until now.
We have an opportunity with certified teachers, computers, desks, curriculum that will assist them in getting back on track so they can rejoin their schools later.
With an average class size of 15, the youth are taught by a full-time certified teacher, have their own desk facing an interactive smart board, and have access to 20 computers for completing classroom assignments and research. Eckerd Kids is one of the nation's largest nonprofit child and family service organizations. So have you registered to vote for the November general election? If not, this is the final week to register to do so. The deadline is October 11th, and since early voting starts days later on the 17th, we want to tell you about the county's new website that highlights all of the advanced voting locations. To find the one nearest you, all you have to do is type in your address, and it shows you the polling sites in your area. And whether you choose to vote early or the day of, keep this in mind before heading out.
Georgia has 6 approved forms of photo identification. It can be driver's license, passport, military ID, tribal ID, any other sort of government employee identification as well.
If you want to check out the Advanced Voting Locations website, log on to earlyvoting.fultoncountyga.gov. And still to come, Turner Field will see some action after all this fall. We'll tell you about a special job fair in our district-by-district coverage next. Fulton hosts a job fair with employers with real job opportunities, and it also takes its HIV and AIDS message straight to campus. Here's this week's district-by-district coverage. We begin with Fulton's chairman as he launches a new kind of college movement. Chairman John Eves visited Clark Atlanta University to make his first presentation about his Stop the Spread of HIV campus campaign. Health professionals have declared a public health emergency in Atlanta because of its high HIV rate. Since starting a routine testing program in 2013, Grady Hospital has diagnosed an average of 2 or 3 patients with HIV every single day. In 2014, it was reported that Atlanta had the 5th highest rate of new HIV infections, according to Emory University's Center for AIDS Research.
This week was our whole student health week, just ensuring students and pretty much having them understand what is going on in the world right now with their health. And today I actually got the advantage of seeing and hearing more about HIV and AIDS, and I was glad to be able to be here and hear all the new initiatives that Fulton County has going on.
I'm hoping to roll out a PrEP clinic. This is going to provide medication to students in their effort to combat the transmission of HIV on campus from person to person. Got a warm, receptive audience, great questions, wonderful dialogue.
Historically, college campuses have been known for having high numbers of sexual activity. The chairman's public health campaign is aimed at preventing more cases on college campuses. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. prepares to host a job fair at Turner Field with employers who will be ready to hire. Companies like IKEA, Atlanta Beverage Company, Pepsi, FedEx, and Delta Dental will all have representatives available to speak directly to prospective employees.
Tons of people looking for work, looking to be employed, employers looking to hire people, and we want to do what we can to bring those two groups together.
The commissioner is hosting the event with Fulton WorkSource Georgia, which was formerly Workforce Development. The job fair will be on October 12th at Turner Field on Hank Aaron Drive. You can get information by calling 404-613-6381. And finally, District 6 Commissioner Emma I. Darnell joins Union City Mayor Vince Williams at a live cooking demonstration at the Etris Community Center. The elected officials watched with a packed room of seniors as Chef Joe Engelbert conducted the cooking class on healthy eating. The event was part of the kickoff celebration for a new partnership between the county and Union City.
This was phenomenal. This is something that we have been praying for a long, long time, and certainly with Commissioner Darnell being a part of this, my seniors are excited.
This brings new options and new programmings to our residents that they have been missing for a long time. And so we can't underscore how grateful we are to provide this service to them in partnership with the county.
Fulton's Office of Aging and Youth and the city are working together to establish a new neighborhood senior center where similar activities can also take place. And when Fulton Today returns, some local daycare centers get recognized for keeping our little ones healthy. Stay with us. Health educators are teaching seniors about a disease that largely impacts their age group. According to the Alzheimer's Association, 1 in 3 seniors dies from Alzheimer's or dementia. Here now to tell us about the difference is Mia Chester. She is the outreach manager for the Alzheimer's Association. Ms. Chester, thank you for being on Fulton Today.
Hi, Shania. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about dementia and Alzheimer's and what they are and the differences.
Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. So it's important to know that dementia is a general category that describes problems with thought, mood, behavior, language. And again, Alzheimer's is a form of dementia, and it is the 6th leading cause of death. Currently, there is no cure for Alzheimer's disease, and there are also 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's disease.
And can you talk to us about those warning signs?
So we recognize that there are 10 warning signs. Some of those include problems with misplacing things and losing the ability to retrace steps, changes in mood and personality. We also see people experience issues with activities of daily living and poor or bad judgment. So we may see people giving away large sums of money. So those are just a few of the warning signs, but again, there are 10, and we say that a person doesn't need to have all 10 warning signs. They could be experiencing one, but it's important to seek help whenever those signs are recognized.
And so far, is there a cure or a way to prevent Alzheimer's or dementia?
Currently, there is no cure for Alzheimer's disease. However, we do encourage people to know what things to do to reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, and that is by being cognitively engaged, partaking in exercise, and making sure that people eat diets that are well balanced. So we would recommend diets that include the Mediterranean diet as well as the DASH diet.
And finally, what should a loved one do if they are recognizing some of these signs in one of their loved ones?
So if you notice symptoms in a loved one, we recommend, first and foremost, keeping a log of those things that are maybe odd for that person. The next best thing to do would be to let the primary care physician know, and then to seek the help of a neurologist, because they can be the best person to diagnose Alzheimer's disease early on. So, we would say follow those steps to, notice signs, include your primary care physician, and then seek help from a neurologist.
Mia Chester, great information. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thanks again for having me.
Now, to learn more about the county's resources available to keep seniors active, you can call the Star Line at 404-613-6000. Dozens of daycare workers now have the tools they need to teach toddlers how to eat healthy. Employees with the Pitch program awarded certificates to daycare workers who completed a 10-hour early care and education program. During the program, organizers assessed each daycare, then came up with a plan to incorporate more exercise and healthier foods into their centers. Participants and organizers gathered at the Sheltering Arms Georgia Training Institute to share their success stories.
We have children now that are eating spinach, and loving it, and asking for more. We actually have a center that called us and said that because of the taste testing and the kids loving the spinach so much, now they're making spinach turkey burgers, and the kids are eating them as well.
Incorporating healthier habits into children's lives early helps them to grow into healthy adults.
Any daycare employee in Fulton County that wants to participate in the training program can contact the Pitch program coordinators at 404-612-3492. And speaking of, some very savvy first graders are also learning how to help make their community more healthy. Students from Drew Charter Elementary School teamed up with cooperative extension agents to learn more about food deserts, or areas where fresh produce isn't readily available. Agents set up tables with healthy snacks and explained how the Fulton Fresh Mobile Farmers Market is a way to get fruits and vegetables to food deserts.
Tasted strawberry fluff and munchie mix. We also have popcorn for them, and they got a little bit of bag of, they got a banana, an orange, and an apple. And so they got to also talk to me about food deserts and why we developed the program.
The students learned about cooperative extension after researching ways to eliminate food deserts. The first graders have already started a garden and asked area business owners how they can help eliminate food deserts in their community. For more information on eliminating food deserts, call the Cooperative Extension Office at 404-332-2400. And up next on Fulton Today, some exotic animals at a local library. Stay with us. And finally, the library literally turns into a zoo. Children were able to get up close and personal with some exotic animals like pygmy hedgehog, a lop calico rabbit, Russian tortoise, and panther chameleon at the Roswell Branch Library. Now, the interactive experience, designed by a Georgia certified educator, has been one of the more popular events taking place at a number of the branches.
Dogs are great pets, cats are great pets, just the normal basic ones. The exotic ones are kind of ones that you'd probably stay away from unless they're fairly familiar with them, And that's what I try to do, is just kind of give them some hints on, what to look for if they are going to try to do something that's exotic.
Kids who attended the zoo library event also got a chance to ask any question they had about animals, and then they did an animal-themed arts and crafts to take home. Go to afpls.org and see when the next Exotic Pets event is taking place. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Check us out anytime on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.